He wrote hits for Chris Brown and still ended up broke. Sounds impossible, right? But behind the glossy music videos, luxury cars, and million-dollar recording studios lies a story so twisted, so heart-wrenching, it could easily be mistaken for a movie script. Picture this: a young, talented songwriter who penned the lyrics that had the whole world dancing. Who was this close to superstardom, and yet, today he's sleeping on a friend's couch, scrolling through social media to see the same people he helped make famous living the life he always dreamed of. But what really happened? Did fame betray him? Or did he sabotage his own success? Some say it was greed. Others whisper it was betrayal from the people he trusted most. Former friends have come forward claiming he was too ambitious for his own good. Industry insiders hint at a deal gone wrong, a fight over royalties, and a scandal that nearly destroyed a career before it even began. As shocking as it sounds, this story isn't just about music. It's about betrayal, pride, and the dark side of the industry no one wants to talk about. Because when the lights go out and the hits stop coming, what's left? Stay tuned. It all began in a cramped apartment on the east side of Los Angeles, where a young songwriter named Malik Jordan used to dream bigger than the walls around him. His voice wasn't famous, but his pen was magic. He could turn heartbreak into poetry and pain into platinum. Nights bled into mornings as he scribbled lyrics on torn notebook pages, humming melodies into a secondhand mic that barely worked. He wasn't rich, not even close. His fridge was usually empty, but his heart was full of ambition. And in the City of Angels, that was enough to keep him going. Malik's break came one night at a small studio in North Hollywood. He'd been invited by a friend, a producer named Rico Blaze, who'd worked with some mid-level R&B artists. "Bro, I'm telling you, this track is crazy. I just need your pen on it," Rico told him, tapping his fingers on the soundboard. Malik didn't hesitate. He wrote the chorus in 10 minutes, pouring out something raw and real about heartbreak and second chances. The artist loved it, and so did Chris Brown's team, who just happened to stop by that same night. 2 weeks later, Malik got the call. Chris Brown's management wanted to buy his song. It was a dream come true, the kind that makes your heart race and your hands shake. He didn't even care about the money. He just wanted his name in the credits. When the track dropped, it exploded. Millions of streams, radio play across the country, dance challenges on social media. Everyone wanted to know who wrote it. And there it was, Malik Jordan. Overnight, he was the industry's new secret weapon. Producers, managers, and even other artists started calling. Suddenly, the same people who used to ignore his messages were now blowing up his phone. "Yo, bro, I got this new artist. She's like the next Za. You gotta write for her." "Malik, we need your pen. We'll pay whatever." He was finally living his dream. But what Malik didn't know was that the same dream was about to turn into a nightmare. Success brought attention, but also envy. And the people closest to him were the first to change. Rico Blaze, the same guy who gave him his first shot, started acting distant. The late-night studio sessions that used to be filled with laughter now turned cold and tense. One night during a session, Rico snapped. "You think you're better than me now, huh? Just because your name's in the credits?" Malik tried to calm him down, but the damage was done. The friendship that had built his career was starting to crumble. Still, Malik kept working. He got another placement, this time with a big female R&B star. It was supposed to cement his name as one of the best young writers in the game. But then came the contract. A maze of fine print that looked more like a trap than a deal. He asked for clarification, and that's when he realized he'd already signed away most of his royalties. The contract from his first deal, the one for Chris Brown's song, had hidden clauses that gave his share to a production partner. That partner? Rico Blaze. When Malik confronted him, it turned ugly fast. "Rico, tell me this ain't true," Malik said, his voice trembling. Rico didn't even blink. "Business is business, bro. You should have read what you signed." The words hit Malik like a punch to the gut. He felt betrayed, humiliated, powerless. All those sleepless nights writing, all those songs that carried his soul. And now, someone else was cashing the checks. But Rico wasn't done. He started spreading rumors in the industry, saying Malik was unprofessional, hard to work with, emotionally unstable. Suddenly, the calls stopped coming. The same managers who once begged him for songs started ghosting him. The artists who'd called him genius pretended not to know him. He tried reaching out, but his emails went unanswered. He'd been blacklisted, and he didn't even know why. The months that followed were brutal. Malik moved out of his apartment, unable to afford rent. He crashed on a friend's couch, surviving on cheap noodles and faded dreams. Every time he heard one of his songs on the radio, his stomach twisted. Those lyrics were his. Those melodies came from his pain. And yet he had nothing to show for it. His family didn't understand. His mother, a kind woman from Atlanta, used to call him every night. "Baby, when are they gonna pay you for those songs?" she'd ask. He couldn't bring himself to tell her the truth. His little sister, Nia, idolized him. She told her friends at school that her brother wrote for Chris Brown. Malik didn't want to crush her excitement, so he kept pretending everything was fine. But deep down, he was breaking. And then came the breaking point. One afternoon, while scrolling through Instagram, Malik saw a post from Rico Blaze, standing in front of a new luxury car, holding up a plaque for the same song they'd made together. The caption read, "Hard work pays off." Blessings on blessings, Malik's hands shook. That was supposed to be his blessing. Instead, he was watching someone else live it. He drove to Rico's studio that night, fueled by rage and desperation. The confrontation was messy. Shouting, threats, security getting involved. "You stole from me," Malik yelled. "You signed it away," Rico shot back. "Ain't my fault you don't know how this business works." It ended with Malik being thrown out onto the street, humiliated and heartbroken. The industry heard about it, and instead of sympathy, he got silence. No one wanted to be associated with drama. Word spread that he was volatile, unpredictable. One producer even told him, "Bro, you're talented, but you gotta chill. People talk." Malik realized he wasn't just fighting for money, he was fighting for his name. But then something unexpected happened. A video surfaced online, a behind-the-scenes clip from the studio the night the hit was made. It showed Malik singing the demo, giving notes, and even guiding Chris Brown's team on the melody. Fans caught wind of it and started asking questions. Who's this guy? Why doesn't he get credit? This dude wrote that hook? Within days, the clip went viral. Suddenly, Malik was back in the conversation. Blogs started picking up the story. "The real writer behind the hit song speaks out," one headline read. Malik was torn. Should he speak his truth or stay silent to avoid more backlash? His friends told him to keep quiet. But the pain had gone on too long. He was ready to tell his story. He posted a video on his page, raw and unfiltered. "I ain't here to start drama," he said, "but I work too hard to be erased." His voice cracked, the exhaustion showing. "I gave my everything to this industry, and all I got was lies." The video blew up overnight. Fans flooded the comments with support. "You deserve better, bro. They did you dirty. Stand your ground." But while fans were rallying behind him, powerful people were getting nervous. Phones started ringing in quiet boardrooms. Emails went out with subject lines like "damage control." Malik had touched a nerve, and the industry was about to fight back. That's when the real storm began. The video had barely been up for 24 hours when Malik's phone started buzzing nonstop. Some calls were from fans and journalists who wanted interviews. Others were from anonymous numbers he didn't recognize. One voicemail in particular made his stomach drop. It was from someone he hadn't heard from in months. A&R executive Darius King, the man who'd first offered him the contract that tied him to Rico Blaze. "Malik, let's talk. You're making a lot of noise right now, and not the good kind. Call me back before this gets ugly." Back before this gets ugly. Malik didn't call back. He knew what "before this gets ugly" meant. They were afraid. Afraid the truth would ruin reputations, expose deals, and drag big names into the mess. But Malik wasn't scared anymore. For the first time, he felt powerful, not because of fame or money, but because people were finally listening. Still, that power came with a price. A few days later, his Instagram account was mysteriously flagged for copyright violations. His posts started disappearing. The video that had gone viral suddenly vanished from his feed. He received an email from a law firm claiming he was defaming certain individuals. They demanded he take everything down or face legal consequences. He sat in silence for a long time that night, staring at the glowing screen. All his life, he'd fought to have a voice, and now they were trying to silence it again. He picked up his phone and called his sister Nia. "I think they're trying to shut me up," he said. Nia's voice cracked. "You can't let them win, Malik. You didn't do anything wrong." Her words gave him strength. He decided to go live again, this time with receipts. He pulled out old contracts, emails, text messages, even voice notes from Rico where they discussed the song Split. "They said I'm lying," Malik said during the live stream, his tone calm but burning with emotion. So here's the truth. I wrote that hook. I arranged that melody, and I got played by people I thought were my brothers. Tens of thousands watched as he scrolled through screenshots and messages. Fans were outraged. Hashtags started trending. Justice for Malik appeared across Twitter and TikTok. Influencers made videos dissecting the story. One popular music blogger said, "This is the biggest songwriting scandal of the year." But behind the screens, chaos erupted. Rico Blaze posted a response video denying everything. "Malik's trippin'. He's clout chasing. He signed a contract fair and square. I don't owe him anything." He smirked through the camera, looking confident. "This is business, not friendship. If he wants sympathy, he should call his mama." The internet exploded. Fans were divided. Some believed Malik, others sided with Rico. "Contracts are contracts," one comment read. "Malik should have known better." Another said, "Rico's a snake. He used him." The drama became a full-blown spectacle, with podcasts debating who was right and music insiders dropping anonymous tips. Meanwhile, Malik's personal life started to unravel. The stress was eating him alive. He barely slept, barely ate. His friends tried to help, but he was consumed by anger and hurt. One night, his mother called him crying. "Baby, I saw them talking about you on TV," she said softly. "You gotta be careful. These people don't play fair." He tried to reassure her, but his voice shook. "I'm just trying to tell the truth, Mama. That's all I ever wanted." As the controversy grew, so did the pressure. Record labels that once ignored Malik started reaching out, but not to help. They wanted to buy his silence. One executive offered him a settlement, $50,000 in exchange for signing a non-disclosure agreement. "Take it and walk away," the man said. "You'll never win this fight. They've got lawyers, connections, everything." Malik hung up without replying. He didn't want hush money. He wanted respect. Then came the twist no one saw coming. A former assistant of Rico Blaze reached out to him secretly. Her name was Jasmine, and she'd seen everything. She told Malik she had proof that Rico forged some of the contract documents, altering royalty percentages after Malik had already signed. Jasmine said she couldn't live with the guilt anymore. "You didn't lose your money, Malik," she said. "It was stolen from you." Malik could hardly breathe. All this time, he'd blamed himself for being naive, for not reading the fine print carefully enough. But now the truth was clear. It wasn't carelessness, it was fraud. Jasmine agreed to share what she had: screenshots, audio clips, and even a video of Rico bragging about outsmarting Malik to a group of friends at a party. Malik's hands trembled as he watched the clip. Rico was laughing, drink in hand, saying, "Man, I made that boy sign his life away. Dude thought he was getting rich. Nah, I'm the one getting rich." The room in the video erupted in laughter. It was disgusting. It was heartbreaking. Malik knew this could change everything, but it was risky. If he released the evidence, it could spark lawsuits, investigations, maybe even end some careers. He called Jasmine again. "Are you sure you want to do this?" he asked. She hesitated, then said, "The truth needs to come out, even if it costs me my job." They planned everything carefully. Malik would post the proof online at midnight, along with a new video explaining everything. As the hours ticked down, he could feel the tension in the air. His hands were sweaty, his heart pounding. At exactly 12 o'clock, he hit post. Within minutes, social media went wild. The video spread like wildfire. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. "This is insane," one user tweeted. "Rico really did that?" Others called for investigations, tagging major music outlets and demanding justice. By morning, the story was everywhere. Big entertainment pages, gossip blogs, even mainstream news networks picked it up. "Hit Songwriter exposes fraud in the music industry," read one headline. Malik's follower count skyrocketed overnight, but so did the backlash. Rico's team released a statement calling the evidence fabricated and edited. They threatened legal action. Malik didn't back down. He went live again, this time calm, almost eerily calm. "They can say whatever they want," he said softly. But the truth don't need defending. It speaks for itself. In the days that followed, his story became a symbol, a cautionary tale about how the industry treats creators. Young artists began sharing their own experiences, stories of being underpaid, uncredited, and silenced. Malik had started a movement without even meaning to. But with every victory came more tension. Behind closed doors, powerful people were plotting. One producer friend warned him in secret, "Bro, you're making enemies up top. They don't like what you're doing." Malik didn't care. He'd already lost everything: his career, his friendships, his peace. What more could they take from him? He thought the worst was over. But it was only the beginning. because just when the truth seemed to be setting him free, a new rumor started spreading, one that threatened to destroy everything he had left. The rumor came out of nowhere, like a whisper that turned into a hurricane. At first, it was just a few anonymous comments under his videos, then a thread on Reddit, and by the end of the week, it had become the headline on every gossip page. Malik Jordan accused of stealing lyrics from unknown songwriter. The irony was cruel. The man who'd been robbed was now being painted as the thief. Malik stared at his phone in disbelief. Every post felt like a stab to the chest. Screenshots of supposed messages were circulating, claiming he'd stolen lines from another struggling writer years ago. Some of the texts even used his slang, his tone, but something about them felt off. "These are fake," he whispered to himself. "They have to be." He called his friend Tasha, who'd been helping him manage his socials. "Tasha, did you see this?" he asked, his voice trembling. She sighed deeply. "Yeah, I saw it. It's bad, Malik. They're saying you built your whole career on lies. But listen, we both know that's not true. Don't let it break you," but it did break him. Every comment, every post chipped away at the little strength he had left. Fans who once defended him started to doubt. Maybe he's not as innocent as he looks. What if both of them are shady? The internet didn't care about facts. It cared about drama. Then, out of nowhere, a video surfaced. It showed Malik in a studio arguing with another songwriter named Devin Keys. The clip was blurry, the audio muffled, but one line was clear. Malik's voice saying, "These are my lyrics now." The clip went viral instantly. Malik couldn't believe what he was seeing. He remembered that night. It was 2 years ago. Devin had been struggling, drunk, slurring his words, and Malik had tried to convince him to stay focused. "We're writing our lyrics," he'd said. But someone had cut the clip to make it look like he was claiming ownership of Devin's work. It was edited, twisted, weaponized. Devin himself had disappeared from the scene months earlier, but now he suddenly reappeared online, posting cryptic tweets like, "Karma always comes around," and "funny how people forget what they did." Fans went wild. Gossip channels ran stories titled, "Did Malik Jordan steal from Devin Keys?" The stress was unbearable. Malik's mental health began to spiral. He stopped sleeping altogether, too anxious to close his eyes. Every time he refreshed his feed, it was a new attack. Sponsors who had just started reaching out pulled their offers. Journalists who once praised him now called him controversial. His name had become toxic again, but this time, the damage felt permanent. His sister Nia tried to console him. "You told the truth before and people listened," she said. "You can do it again." But Malik wasn't sure anymore. "This time's different," he muttered. "They don't want the truth, they want blood." Then, as if the universe wanted to test him further, a new bomb dropped. Rico Blaze posted another video, this time pretending to be the voice of reason. "I'm not here to drag nobody," he said, sitting in a luxury car with a smug smile. "But it's funny how karma works. Malik tried to ruin me, and now look what's happening." Maybe he wasn't as clean as he said. Millions watched. The comments were brutal. "Rico warned us. Malik's a fraud. Guess the truth came out." Malik wanted to scream. He wanted to disappear. But a small voice inside him whispered that he couldn't give up. Not after everything he'd already survived. He reached out to Jasmine again, the former assistant who'd helped him expose Rico's fraud. "Did you see what they're saying about me?" he asked. She sounded angry. "Of course I did. And I know who started it." Rico's team hired a digital agency. They're paying people to post lies, fake screenshots, even those edited clips. They're trying to bury you under your own story. Malik felt a mix of relief and fury. At least it wasn't random hate, it was sabotage. But how could he fight a machine that big? Jasmine had an idea. "We'll expose them again. This time with proof of the smear campaign." Over the next few days, they collected evidence. Email leaks, invoices from the fake accounts, even a message from someone who worked for the agency confirming Rico's involvement. But Malik hesitated. Last time he went public, it almost broke him. Could he survive another round? Tasha tried to convince him. "You started something bigger than yourself, Malik. People need to know how deep this goes." He took a long breath. "If I do this, there's no going back." She looked at him through the phone screen and said quietly, "You already crossed that line a long time ago." So he did it. One Friday evening, Malik uploaded a long-form video documentary exposing the smear campaign. He laid everything out, screenshots, voice notes, digital trails, and statements from witnesses. It was powerful, emotional, and painfully raw. "They tried to silence me, then they tried to destroy me," he said in the video. "But the truth keeps finding me. No matter how deep they bury it, it crawls back up." The internet erupted again, but this time the tide began to turn. Major journalists verified the emails. Tech experts confirmed the data was real. Rico's credibility started to crumble. Even Devin Keys, the songwriter used against Malik, came forward to clarify. He posted, "The clip was edited. Malik never stole from me. I was manipulated too." Fans flooded Malik's page with apologies and love. "We should have believed you. This man deserves justice. This story is insane." But as the world began to see the truth, Malik was already exhausted beyond belief. Fame, even the righteous kind, had drained him. His mother called again, her voice trembling with pride. "Baby, you did it. You stood up for yourself." Malik smiled weakly. "Yeah, Mama. But at what cost?" Because behind the screens, the damage was still real. He'd lost deals, friendships, trust. Every time he looked in the mirror, he saw the cost of telling the truth. And just when he thought the storm was finally settling, something unexpected happened. Something that neither he nor anyone watching his story could have predicted. A famous artist, one of the biggest names in R&B, posted on social media, Malik Jordan, "I see you. I know what they did to you. Hit me up. Let's make music the right way." The artist didn't name names, but everyone knew who it was. The same superstar whose team had bought Malik's first song years ago, Chris Brown. The internet went into meltdown. Is Chris Brown reaching out to Malik? Are they working together again? This is full circle. Fans were in disbelief. Malik didn't respond publicly right away, unsure if it was real or just another trap. But deep down, a flicker of hope began to rise again, a feeling he hadn't allowed himself to feel in a long time. He sat in the dark that night, scrolling through thousands of comments, his eyes stinging with exhaustion. Maybe, just maybe, this was his second chance. But he also knew something else. In this industry, second chances always come with a price, and he was about to find out exactly how high that price would be. Malik stared at the message on his screen for nearly an hour. "Yo, this is CB. I saw what happened, bro. You're a real one for standing up. Let's talk." He read it again and again, wondering if it was real. He clicked on the profile, verified. It wasn't a fake account. It was really Chris Brown. His hands started shaking. After everything, the betrayal, the humiliation, the chaos, was this the moment the universe was finally throwing him a lifeline? He called Tasha immediately. "Tash, you're not gonna believe this," he said, his voice trembling. "Chris Brown just hit me up," she gasped. "You're lying. Stop playing. I swear, look." She went silent for a second. "Malik, if this is real, it could change everything. But you need to be careful. The industry already burned you once." He knew she was right, but deep down, hope was louder than fear. After all the pain, all the nights crying into his pillow, all the times he almost gave up, here was the man whose song had started it all, offering him another shot. He typed out a reply carefully. "Appreciate you, bro. I'd love to link. I just want to make great music again." Within an hour, Chris's manager reached out, setting up a studio session in Los Angeles. Malik packed his few belongings, a notebook, a laptop, and his old microphone, and caught the next flight. Sitting on the plane, he stared out the window, the city lights below flickering like second chances. When he arrived at the studio, it felt surreal. The same rooms that once made him feel small now looked like redemption waiting to happen. Chris greeted him with a grin. "Man, you've been through it, huh?" Malik laughed softly. "Yeah, you could say that," Chris nodded. "People forget this industry eats its own. I respect that you didn't let it kill you." They talked for hours, not just about music, but about life, pain, trust, and how fame twists people. Malik shared everything, how Rico betrayed him, how the lies spread, how he almost lost himself. Chris listened quietly, then said, "Bro, that's exactly why your story matters. It's real. Let's make something real." They started writing that same night. Malik poured his entire soul into the lyrics. The song was about resilience, about falling and getting back up, about scars that tell stories instead of secrets. Every line felt like a confession, every melody like closure. When they played back the demo, even the engineer went silent. "That's powerful," he whispered. For the first time in years, Malik felt whole. But of course, peace never lasts long in the spotlight. Word about the collaboration leaked online before they could even finish mixing. Chris Brown reunites with songwriter who exposed industry fraud, one headline screamed. Is this a redemption arc or a publicity stunt? Another teased. Malik didn't care. He'd learned that the noise would always be there. But then came the twist that no one saw coming. A week before the song's release, Malik received an email, a legal notice from Rico's lawyers. They claimed ownership of the new track, saying that elements from an old demo recorded under their partnership had been used in the song. Malik felt his stomach drop. It was happening again. The same man who stole his past was now trying to steal his comeback. He called his lawyer, one of the few people still in his corner. They're bluffing, the lawyer said. They're trying to scare you into backing down. Don't let them. Still, the fear crept in. What if they sued? What if the song got pulled before it even dropped? What if history repeated itself? Chris stood by him, though. Bro, we'll handle it, he said firmly. They can't stop truth. Not this time. The song titled Broken Pens dropped 2 weeks later. The response was explosive. Millions of streams in a single day. Heartfelt messages pouring in from fans around the world. This song saved me. I felt every word. Malik, you did it. The lyrics about betrayal and rebirth resonated with everyone who'd ever been knocked down and forced to rebuild. But even as success returned, Malik stayed humble. He didn't post flashy cars or designer clothes. Instead, he posted a single photo, him holding his old notebook, the one filled with tear-stained lyrics from his darkest days. The caption read, "They took everything but couldn't take my words." The caption read, "They took everything but couldn't take my words." The industry started calling again, this time with respect instead of greed. Labels wanted him to write, artists wanted to collaborate, even talk shows reached out, wanting to tell his story. But Malik had learned the hard way that not all attention is good. He turned down most offers, choosing instead to work independently with people who valued honesty over hype. Behind the scenes, Rico Blaze's empire was crumbling. Investigations had been launched into his contracts and shady business practices. Jasmine's testimony and Malik's evidence opened doors to a bigger scandal, one that revealed how many young artists had been trapped in similar deals. Within months, Rico's production company was suspended, his reputation in ruins. When Malik heard the news, he didn't celebrate. Instead, he sat quietly, thinking of the years lost, the friendships shattered, the dreams delayed. Revenge didn't feel as sweet as he'd imagined, only empty. He texted Jasmine, "We did it." She replied, "You did it. You got your name back." Malik decided to take a break from everything. He moved out of Los Angeles, renting a small house near the ocean. The air was quiet, the sunset soft. He'd spend his days writing, not for fame or money, but because it was the only thing that made him feel alive. Sometimes he'd get messages from fans telling him how his story inspired them to keep going. Those meant more to him than any award ever could. One evening, as the waves crashed outside, Naya came to visit. She looked around the cozy house and smiled. "You finally look happy, bro," she said. Malik nodded. "I think I am. Maybe not rich, but free," she laughed. "Rich comes and goes. Free stays." They sat together watching the sunset, the sky painted in shades of orange and gold. Malik thought about how far he'd come, from sleeping on couches to reclaiming his voice. He wasn't the same person who once chased validation in studios filled with fake smiles. Now he knew his worth didn't depend on charts or contracts. It lived in his words, in his truth. Still, even in peace, echoes of the past lingered. Sometimes he'd see Rico's name trend again, or stumble across old headlines about the scandal. People loved a comeback story, but they also loved to reopen old wounds. Malik had learned to let them talk. Because in the end, no rumor, no lie, no stolen credit could erase the truth written in ink and blood across his journey. Months later, during an interview with an independent music channel, the host asked him, "Malik, after everything you've been through, the betrayal, the lawsuits, the lies, do you forgive them?" He paused for a long time before answering. "I don't know if forgiveness is the right word," he said softly. "But I've learned that carrying hate just keeps you tied to the people who hurt you. So I let it go. I let them go. And that's my kind of peace." The clip went viral, not because it was dramatic, but because it was real. Fans called it the most honest thing a celebrity ever said. As the months rolled on, Broken Pens continued to climb charts, not because of a marketing push, but because people felt the truth in every lyric. Malik started mentoring young writers, teaching them how to protect their art and themselves. He told them, "Don't let anyone own your story. Not a label, not a manager, not a friend who turns into a stranger. Your story is your currency. Spend it wisely. One day, he received a handwritten letter in the mail. No return address, just his name. Inside was a note that said, "You were right. I was wrong. I hope you find peace." It was signed simply, R. For a long moment, Malik just stared at it. He didn't know if it was real, but it didn't matter. He smiled faintly, folded the letter, and placed it in his notebook between two unfinished songs. Because in the end, Malik's story wasn't about fame or fortune. It was about survival. About losing everything that looked like success to find everything that truly mattered. About riding through pain until the pain became purpose. And as the night fell quiet and the waves whispered against the shore, Malik picked up his pen, the same old pen that had started it all, and began to write again. Not for them, not for revenge, but for himself. The boy who once wrote hits for Chris Brown had finally written something even bigger. He'd written his way back to freedom. And that's how it all came full circle. From writing million-dollar hits that made the world dance, to sleeping on couches, to finding peace in a place money could never buy. Malik Jordan's story isn't just about fame or betrayal. It's a reminder that sometimes the biggest victories aren't the ones on stage, but the ones you win quietly inside yourself. Fans are still talking. The industry is still watching. And somewhere out there, Malik is still writing. Maybe the next song that'll change everything again. But the question that keeps everyone guessing is this. Is this really the end of Malik's story? Or just the calm before another storm? Will he stay true to his independent path or step back into the spotlight that once burned him? And if he does, can he ever really trust it again? Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Malik made the right choice walking away from the industry? Or should he have fought harder for his place at the top? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you felt this story, if it pulled you in or made you think about the real price of success, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stories that dig deep into the drama behind the headlines. Because in this world of fame and secrets, there's always another side to the story. And you never know who's next.